I'm Emily Campagno, along with Harold Ford Jr., Jesse Waters, Dana Perino, and Greg Gutfeld. It's 5 o'clock in New York City, and this is The Five. At any moment, we are expecting an update from police and local officials in Rhode Island on the deadly mass shooting at Brown University. Police are still searching for a suspected gunman after releasing a possible suspect earlier. But first to this, the threat of radical Islamic terrorism is once again on our radar after the horrific anti-Semitic attack in Australia. 2 gunmen, a father and son, targeting a Hanukkah celebration on Bondi Beach in Sydney. 15 people were shot to death, including children as young as 8 years old. President Trump praising the efforts of a heroic bystander who bravely tackled one of the suspects to the ground.
It's been a very, very brave person, actually, who went and attacked frontally one of the shooters and saved a lot of lives. So, very brave person who's right now in the hospital, pretty seriously wounded. So, great respect to that man that did that. But we're here for a different reason. We're here to celebrate Christmas and to celebrate, and I think today we can very say loudly, we celebrate Hanukkah, because that was such a horrible attack. That was a purely anti-Semitic attack.
The brutal terror attack on the Jewish community putting new pressure on Democrats here at home to confront the tide of rising anti-Semitism in their ranks, like those college students who chanted "From the river to the sea." Democrat Senator John Fetterman with this message for his party.
Just call it what it is. Anti-Semitism is a worldwide scourge, and it's constantly demonstrated to be deadly, and it keeps manifest itself in these things. It's an absolute betrayal for Israel and for the worldwide Jewish community, like whether it's France or Australia or any of these nations, our Western allies now calling for a two-state solution when Hamas refuses to disarm and are actively trying to kill Jews. That is not the appropriate reward after 10/7 and this thing.
And now it looks like the FBI has foiled a potential act of pro-Palestinian terror here on American soil. 4 members of a far-left anti-government group have been arrested. They are facing charges for allegedly planning a series of bomb attacks across Southern California on New Year's Eve. Officials say they were motivated by extremist, pro-Palestinian, anti-law enforcement, and anti-government ideology. Dana, a lot to unpack here. You had some powerful interviews during your show earlier this morning.
Yeah, so I think this is what globalizing the Intifada looks like. And if you listen to Call Me Back, which is Dan Senor's podcast, he had one of his regular guests on today who's from Israel, and he's there. And there is intel that has been around since about August, but that's a month after Iran's nuclear weapon stockpile was obliterated by the United States and Israel. So in August, there was this intel that said, basically, there is some state actor out there that is orchestrating these attacks, encouraging these attacks, okay? And you can go through them one by one. You can see there's things happening. There was this in the Christmas market in Germany. That attack was foiled, thank goodness. You had the New Year celebration in Los Angeles. They foiled that plot today. That was announced earlier. Paris has canceled its New Year's Eve celebrations because they're concerned about this very thing, which to me says they've got intelligence that says that this was possibly going to happen and they didn't know where the people were. And they're like, let's just cancel it in order for everyone to be safe. You had the shooting of our National Guard. You have a call to action, which means that we have to have a continued vigilance and to be on offense. There is only one way to beat back radical Islamic terrorism and anti-Semitism, and then that is to be on offense and to have moral clarity, and the moral clarity like what President Trump just discussed. There's no, well, and a maybe, and I think, no, it was, this is wrong, this is anti-Semitism. And he said to the perpetrators of the attack in Syria that killed our people, said, oh, there will be retaliation. That is the only way to deal with it. It's a generational struggle. The people who wanted to free Palestine, they didn't just want a peace deal or a ceasefire in Gaza. No, they got the ceasefire And now they've stepped on the gas just when we need to actually step on the gas for ourselves. If you are going to take steps like canceling school, canceling events, taking away the people's ability to gather in Paris for New Year's Eve, then you better be doubling down on your security, because there's the only way to protect our way of life, our Western way of life that they would like to destroy, is to stay on the offense.
Jesse, to exactly that point, people like Sarah Adams, former CIA targeter, talks about how much open source information there is, meaning not classified, just available readily, that all over the world there are these cells mobilizing with the stated goal of global intifada that charge people with, hey, shoot up this market, hey, find a school, like it is out there. And why is it that the lawmakers here can't even condemn that? Can't even condemn anti-Semitism? You have normal people like Ahmed El Ahmed that tackle a gunman, that show heroism above and beyond. And elected officials here can't even see that that unchecked anti-Semitism will have fatal consequences.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like after Iran got smoked, they tried to retaliate asymmetrically. They're never really going to be able to hit us back hard, to hit Israel back that hard. But so you'll probably see this go on for years, because that's all they're capable of. And they were warned, as Dana said. They had intel that there was something either being fomented by the mullahs or by ISIS. And you've seen, as the Australians have allowed Muslim immigration into their country, the population of Muslims into Australia has doubled over the last 2 decades. And as that population has grown, there's been a very, very sharp rise in anti-Semitic attacks. Just in the last couple of years, there have been firebombings of synagogues. There have been firebombings of Jewish businesses. This is kind of coming to a head there. And I guess maybe they didn't act on the intelligence. I don't know what they did, but there's definitely going to be people that are going to lose their jobs. So the kid was an immigrant. We believe the father was born in Australia, and the kid was on a terror watch list. So that he was all over the government's radar. So the kid's on the watch list, and the dad has an arsenal of weapons. And these weapons are legally held. So the family is on a watch list, and it has an arsenal. What the hell good is the watch list if you're going to allow that? You either have strict gun control, like they said, or you should let the people of Australia arm themselves to protect themselves.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.